Her Mountain Axe. 2. Chapter 11. The Weight of What He Became. The room fell into a heavy stillness as the last report ended. One after the other they had spoken, voices steady, faces hardened by experience. The leader listened without interruption, nodding occasionally, his expression unreadable. When the final member stepped back into line, a slow smile spread across his face. "Well done," he said. It wasn't loud, but it carried weight. A quiet ripple of satisfaction passed through the room. Approval meant survival. Approval meant relevance. Then his eyes shifted. "Etekamba." Before the leader could say another word, something unexpected happened. Etekamba's thoughts drifted, not out of fear, not out of distraction, but out of something far more dangerous: reflection. A journey he never questioned, until now. He saw himself again as a fresher, a young man full of questions, searching for belonging. University had not been what he expected. The promises of freedom and excitement had quickly faded into loneliness, pressure, and the quiet desperation to fit in. He remembered walking through campus, watching groups of confident young men who seemed untouchable, respected, feared, admired. They had power, and he wanted it. That was when he appeared, the one who introduced him. Calm, charismatic, convincing. A friend, at least that was what it looked like. He had spoken of brotherhood, of protection, of influence, of a life where no one would look down on him again. Etekamba didn't think twice. The beginning of the descent. The initiation night came back to him like a fading nightmare. The location hidden far from prying eyes. The silence thick and unnatural. The faces cold, expectant. He had been told it was just a formality. It wasn't. The rituals, the oaths, the blood covenant. It was deeper than he had imagined. Final. Binding. There was no going back. And when it was over, they welcomed him, called him brother. Life inside the circle. At first, it felt like everything he had hoped for. Doors opened. Fear followed him, not toward him, but around him. No one dared cross him. Lecturers looked the other way. Students respected him, even if it was out of fear. He had access to things others didn't. Money flowed in strange ways. Problems disappeared. But so did something else. Peace. The cost he couldn't ignore. The rules came later, not all at once, little by little. One of them stood above the rest, the yearly requirement. At first he thought it was exaggerated, a myth, until it wasn't. Assignments were given, lives became tasks, and refusal was not an option. Because in that circle, failure didn't just mean punishment, it meant replacement. A campus covered in shadows. The campus itself was no longer just a place of learning. It was a battlefield. Different groups, different colors, different territories. An invisible war that everyone felt, even if they didn't understand it. Students learned quickly. Stay away from certain places. Don't wear the wrong colors. Don't ask questions. Because the consequences were real. People disappeared. Violence erupted without warning. Fear became normal. Even the school authorities struggled to keep control. Sometimes they shut everything down temporarily, but never long enough to stop what was already rooted deep within the system. And beneath it all, the cults thrived. What he became. Etekamba swallowed. He had become one of them, not just a member, an active participant. He remembered the assignments he carried out without hesitation, the nights he didn't allow himself to think, the moments he silenced whatever voice tried to question him. He had told himself it was survival, but now he wasn't so sure, because for the first time a question rose in his mind, clear and unavoidable. What have I truly gained? Power? Yes. Fear? Yes, but at what cost? The illusion of gain. He thought of those who admired them, those who envied their lifestyle. They saw the surface, influence, protection, money, recognition.
But they didn't see the truth, the constant pressure, the unspoken fear, the irreversible commitments, and most of all, the assignments. Back to the present. Etekamba! The leader's voice pulled him back. The room came into focus again. All eyes were on him. The leader studied him for a moment, as though he could see beyond his silence. Then he spoke. "There is something for you."
The atmosphere shifted. Assignments were never ordinary. Etekamba straightened slightly, masking whatever had just passed through his mind. "I'm listening," he said. "If you have not subscribed, please take out time to do so. Also, share your views on the story so far. I would really love the feedback. Now, back to the story." The assignment. The leader stepped closer. "There is a problem," he began. "One of our members attempted to secure his yearly requirement." Etekamba's expression didn't change, but he understood immediately. A sacrifice. "The target," the leader continued, "was a young boy." A pause. "But someone interfered." Now the room grew colder. "A woman." Another pause. "A church girl." Murmurs flickered briefly among the members before silence returned. "She stood in the way," the leader said, his tone sharpening slightly. "And now, she has become a liability." Etekamba's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. The leader looked directly into his eyes. "You will handle it." No explanation, no discussion, just an order. A new wait. The room remained silent, waiting. Etekamba nodded slowly. But this time, something felt different. Not fear, not hesitation, but something unfamiliar, something unsettled. Because for the first time, the assignment didn't feel like just another task. It had become a burden. He did not look forward to it, but he had no choice. Closing line. And as the meeting continued, unnoticed by the others, a quiet battle had already begun inside him, one that would change everything. I hope you are enjoying the story so far. Please let me know in the comment section whatever is in your mind. Subscribe and hit the notification button to know when Chapter 12 is out. Shalom!